Sweet Mary Jane.
Got some pipes, huh?
No.
Sing more.
It's the mic.
Subscribe.
It's the mic.
Yeah, that's a big mic you got there, Sean.
All right.
Wow.
Welcome
Wow.
everybody. Welcome in. You made it to another episode
was that the first thing on the intro?
of the Meme Factory podcast.
I really hope so.
And retake.
This is episode 55. It's a stream test like all the other episodes, so we can't get canceled. This evening we are joined by none other than Mike Hobart. Mike, can you give us a quick explanation of who you are, what you do in the Bitcoin space, and why anybody should give a shit?
I don't think anybody should give a shit, if I'm being completely honest. Because I'm really just a Midwesterner that was in the Army that discovered Bitcoin on the way to the Middle East. And I basically overdosed on Bitcoin for like 4 to 6 hours a day on average since then, for like 5 years straight. And then I got so mad at people being stupid and not understanding things, I started writing. And then people liked it, I guess. So, and then I started ranting on Spaces in Clubhouse with everybody, and people liked what I had to say. So, and that's where I'm here with you guys. And I'm here with you guys largely because I started bullshitting with Yellow for a while. And then I met all of you guys incrementally throughout.
Sorry to hear that. And
Our apologies. Consult.
now you also feel free to plug the company that you're working for. You're at a Bitcoin company as well.
Yeah, so I am the communications and marketing manager, and I paused at marketing because I really don't know anything about marketing. So I try not to flex that in the sense of like expecting me to do a good job, because I told the GAM team the exact same thing. I was like, guys, I am coming into this position with no formal education in marketing, communications, oil and gas, or Bitcoin mining. So I'm going to do my best, but we're going to have fun.
They're like, you're perfect.
How do you think Greg got the job at Strike? Same exact way.
You're not funny.
You have a shining personality.
I didn't say you, Yellow. I just said Greg.
Yeah,
You're not funny.
you're still not.
But I
Yellow's a bully.
Damn. All right. Now,
wait. You didn't even say what company you work at.
Great American Mining.
Oh, okay.
thank you, Sean.
There we go.
Thank
Nice.
Good catch, Sean.
Is it based in America?
He may not be funny, but at least he notices things.
Damn.
Now,
Those are rough today.
I had to take a week off. I'm coming in.
They're coming in.
Guns
They're
blazing.
coming with the burrs.
Greg's
Burrs and
he's got zingers left and right. He's got to make up for the hurricane.
Yeah.
Is it a US-based company?
Yes, it is U.S. based, and we are primarily based out of the back end basin in North Dakota.
All right.
Okay.
North Dakota, oil fields. A lot of oil fields out
I
there.
got nothing
Lots
for
of
me.
gas out there.
There is,
Yeah.
especially with Mike out there.
Yeah, but that's one really cool thing though is like the first interaction I had with the team was when I went to go out to write an article about them. And if I assume this because most everybody has seen it. I'm assuming most or all of you guys have seen the movie Jarhead, where they're walking through the desert and like the oil fields are burning.
Yeah.
Going through Newtown, North Dakota, specifically, where there's a lot of gas flaring because there's a lot of oil fields, it looked exactly like that. Like the horizon is just glowing orange because they're flaring so much gas. And I'm like, dude, this could all be Bitcoin. All of it.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. It's beautiful too, in a way.
Now, before we get too far into the show here, we need to make our money. I don't know if you've ever seen the show before, but
Coinbase.
we get paid
Coinbase.
by our sponsors make us have the guests read the ad copy. So this week's ad copy, I just DM'd it over to you. So if you could take a moment, pull it up, and then at your convenience, just rip through it. So we can just...
Until he checks it out, like, Becca, have you seen that Coinbase app?
Coinbase?
Yeah, Coinbase.
Did you
No.
say?
Yeah, it's a new app that basically you can do stacking and everything. It's awesome.
Can I DCA on it?
Of course.
Oh, awesome. I'll check it out. Thanks, Yellow.
Okay, Becca, corn bits.
Coin bits.
You guys are awesome.
At your convenience.
All right.
Mike.
All right. At my convenience means now. Hi, everybody. This is Mike Hobart, and this episode of the Meme Factory TM. Can't forget that.
Yep.
Meme Factory TM podcast is brought to you by Great American Whining. You got this is fantastic. We all know that retail in the United States has been on the decline since Amazon came on the scene. Without harnessing a new source of energy to the space, it is headed for a death spiral. Underutilized, stranded, and otherwise wasted energy exists throughout the world, and retail is no. Dude, this isn't even funny. This is actually like educational. I watched Q's and it was hilarious. Great American Whining has found a way to harness the most energetic part of any retail operation. Karen. Here we go. By harnessing the wind power of a typical Karen to mine Bitcoin, we've managed to turn the customer service department of any store from a loss leader into a profit center. Okay, now we're talking. Nice job. We just dropped one of our mobile mining rigs right over top of the customer service department and bring the market right to the moaning. So if you run a retail store and are searching for more ways to turn a profit, hit us up at Great American Whining. All right, that guy. I called it too early. That was pretty good.
Well done. It sounds like they stole some content right from the Great American Mining website. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to double check my passwords because I'm pretty sure they have access to my Google Docs.
Okay, nice. Now that we've got that out of the way, the next thing we need from you is we need to get you to put in your sandwich order with Becca.
Ooh, sandwich order?
Now you can order anything you like. Doesn't have to be a regular sandwich.
Yeah, but a sandwich does sound good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably sliced oven roasted chicken breast with bacon, tomato, kosher dill pickles,
Perfect.
spinach, and honey mustard. Oh, and then can't forget the cheese. It has to be ghost pepper cheese.
Ghost pepper
Not
cheese.
not ghost pepper. I'm sorry, Carolina Reaper cheese.
Ooh.
Oh, I already wrote it down though, so you're getting ghost pepper. Sorry.
It's an immutable
Yeah.
order.
Yeah. Yeah.
Immutable.
Immutable.
It's
Exactly.
going on the blockchain.
Yep.
It's going on the sandwich chain.
We solved the Oracle problem. Sandwiches.
All right.
Printed right onto the blockchain.
Yes.
Now, you may have noticed that we're in the middle of a bear market. It's kind of like an everything bear market.
What?
And there are rules. There are rules for a bear market that I would like to have Yellow explain to you if he's not feeling like he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, sorry guys, but I'm sick. I'm coughing all the time. So the three rules are, first of all, stack, obviously. The second rule is fight. We are Bitcoiners. We love to fight. Find a Bitcoiner or anybody and fight and tag me. And the three is build. And if you don't know how to build, just tweet about it. It's the same thing. That's it.
Thank you, Yellow.
It's true.
Check.
Obviously,
Tweedling is buildling. Is that what you're saying?
exactly.
All right.
So if you're not actually building anything, just make sure you're tweeting about building things so that people know that you're building things.
And you have to specifically spell build wrong.
You could spell all kinds of things wrong. It's just part of the Bitcoin culture anyway. Now,
That is so true, actually.
all right, so now that the rules have been explained, you got to tell us, are you stacking?
Oh yeah, dude. I've been stacking. I think I've actually 2 years straight with Swan. Like it was within the first 3 months that Swan went live. I started stacking. I haven't stopped.
Man, that's awesome that you're stacking with Coinbits already. Now, are you fighting with anybody?
Fighting? No, I'm actually being a little bit of a bitch about that. I need to go fight somebody.
That's all right. We could pick fights with you if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. And are you building anything?
He thought right now, no, this is gonna happen when you least expect it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get jumped in the middle of Iowa. Like you guys are gonna be like, how did we even get here? We don't know where Iowa is.
Oh no, it'll be a verbal fight or an visual fight.
It'll be on.
It'll be-
I'll
it's
throw
more dangerous
sandwiches
there
at
'cause
you.
it's more dangerous on there too because it's more public. Nothing like getting bitched in front of an infinite number of people.
Ooh, did you see Sailor just
Eric
take
Wall.
that guy, Eric Wall? Oh, that was brutal.
It's so
I was
funny.
gonna do a poll. Who's died more, Eric Wall or Bitcoin?
Definitely Eric Wall. Dude, it really like that. Like over the last year straight, that guy's become more pathetic. Like consistently, like it's impressive how much more pathetic he gets.
Yeah,
Like I'm really excited to see what the next like tier is.
he's getting like Bitcoin famous because he's getting owned every time he logs into Twitter.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like Jim Cramer.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Consistently dunked on. That's his brand.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh, and by the way, rip to Becca because Sailor did completely swerve.
Ooh.
What's his
As
face?
usual.
no, he didn't.
He
No,
laughed. He did a laughing emoji.
a
did a
laughing
laughing
emoji.
emoji.
So
Oh, did he?
Eric
Yes,
hit
yeah.
it
He
with
didn't
his
completely.
head.
So he gave you at least due attention. So that's good.
yes, I can continue on with my simping.
I would say R.I.P. more because he replied to Susie.
Ooh.
But he also
Dang.
replied with only an emoji. So we're like equal again on the scoreboard.
But replying though takes more effort than just reacting with an emoji.
I don't know. Isn't it the same number of taps?
Ooh, that's
He
good.
tapped that? Did he tap that?
I don't know. Did he?
You know what,
BT
Sean?
Weekly will investigate.
How many times did he tap that?
Sean, you may actually have a good candidate for your question that keeps getting sidelined.
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna give you the floor here.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Mike, first of all, question, my dude.
Okay.
Are you single, man?
Yes.
Because Sean's looking.
Why do you ask?
He's not-
Is this
he's
for,
not my
the
type,
Bitcoin
no.
TMC or something.
No. So my question is, right? You've been writing about Bitcoin for a long time. You started writing about it. You started thinking about it all the time. When you're on a date with a girl, right? It normally comes up. Well, what do you do in your free time, or what do you do, or where do you work at?
Oh, I don't talk about Bitcoin.
So okay, that's the question. Is because how do you say I work for this Bitcoin mining company without saying I work at this Bitcoin mining company?
I say oil and gas company first.
Oh, you say oil and gas.
I like because that's really the first line of defense that I want answered for myself is she buying into the environmentalist like militant ESG nonsense?
Yeah,
Because if she is,
how dare you? She gives you one how dare you, and then
yeah, because like if she buys into that nonsense, then it also increases the likelihood that she's vegetarian or vegan, which is another red strike. And
you wouldn't date a vegan?
no, I hooked up with a vegan during college, and that was bad enough.
It smelled like lettuce.
Lettuce doesn't have a smell, dude. It smells like water. But no, it was pretty awful actually. I learned from that pretty not fast enough.
So there was another vegan.
No, that was the one. That
Oh,
was
gotcha.
the one that I was like sleeping with for a while in college, but you know, it's college, so not like there's really a whole lot of value to the individual anyway at that time.
All right.
Including myself.
She's probably not a vegan anymore, let's be honest.
I don't know.
If she was
Could
smart, she wouldn't be.
All right. So, Mike, you
So
made
you don't talk about. So you don't talk about. You just don't bring it up.
I'll just shut the fuck
What?
up. Man.
What?
Okay. You just don't bring it up.
Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I don't lead with it. Like each line of questioning is a test to see like how capable she is as far as having conversation. Because like if she's someone that isn't even interested in talking about economics or investing, then you're definitely not talking about Bitcoin with her.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you bring up the word Bitcoin, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, right? Like,
Yep.
like one girl can be like, "Oh, my dad lost a lot of money on Bitcoin." Another girl can be like, "Oh, I have friends that are Bitcoin all the time," you know. And then like, so there's a lot of different, and there's literally no one out there who how we do, not literally, but there's almost no one out there who thinks about Bitcoin how we do.
Statistically, it's basically literally.
Yes, who understand what the purpose of Bitcoin is, right? Because everyone's fiat minded still.
What is the purpose?
Yeah, what's the purpose of Bitcoin, Sean?
The purpose of Bitcoin is to end the central banks. Separate.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Man.
That's a second order consequence.
It's to make yellow PopCap memes.
You know, and
Watermelon memes.
I've mentioned this on a couple other podcasts. Some of the people that like men and women, some of the people that are on the outside of our like kind of community or situation, some of the people that are most susceptible to having the conversation, like as far as Bitcoin and time preference and all this other stuff, is actually like the bro science dudes or the girls that are in like hitting the gym hard. Like they seem to be the people that get it most, because like coming from like the gym rat kind of social group, particularly around the bodybuilding.com situation, over the last 5 to 10 years, like that group of people has seen how much of actual science has been wrong.
Yes, I would agree. I totally agree, because my trainer, I have a trainer right out here where I work out when I'm back during the off season. And the first thing when I got back, he was like, you got to be eating meat, stay away from seed oils. He's like, the food pyramid's totally wrong. And I'm like,
that's awesome, because I went when I was thinking about this the other day, actually, like on my flight over here, was back in college, which would have been like 2018, like not that long ago, because I graduated college late because I'm an idiot.
Well, you were in the military, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I also got kicked out of my first university because I was partying too much.
Greg Zach.
But
you guys got something in common,
right?
My mom's here.
Me and a buddy of mine got into an argument with one of our professors because she was kind of like, she was a dietitian coming from the echo chamber side of things. Yeah. And she was like, you guys need to keep your salt down. And we're like, actually, if you're like hitting the weights pretty hard, like between the amount of sodium that gets consumed just in the muscle contraction, and then you include the sweating, and you include how much like water has to get cycled out, we're like, you should actually probably be consuming a boatload of salt. And she goes, no, that's wrong. Like you're going to increase your blood pressure. We're like, all right, you're an idiot then. I don't care if you're a professor, you're an idiot.
There was literally, I mean, that's the thing is people don't realize, like, to rehydrate, you can't just rehydrate on pure water. Like you have to add salt or minerals to it. But I don't know. Okay, we're getting on a tangent, but either way,
tangents
I could go on forever because CNN posted the other day too. They said that white rice was just as bad for you.
That's racist.
That's racist. Yeah, we're not anti-Semitic here. So.
Yeah. We're not going down this path.
Other white rice. What about the brown rice? But they said white rice is just as bad for you as eating candy. So it's like
no,
it's totally false. Exactly, it's totally false. I even passed that thing to my trainer, and he was like, I can't believe this. I was like, yeah, dude, this is the type of lie. Like, if you think about the lies that are being told to us about our food, it makes sense that they're lying to us even more about the money all the time. So
how would you know?
Sean, did you know
the lies about the money? Sorry, Greg. The lies about the money enable them to like lie about the food. That's the whole point.
Yeah, shut up, Greg.
I was just gonna say that. Did you know
I said
that
sorry,
Mike
Greg.
is working with
shut up, Greg.
our boy Texas Slim?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Beef Initiative?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm working with him on. We're gonna be getting some stuff out to you guys like in serious levels starting next spring. Is what it sounds like.
Wait, what does that mean? You're sending us stuff?
Meat factory to the meme?
No.
We'll
Take you guys. Well, I'll send you guys stuff, I'm sure.
All right.
Actually, Slim will probably be super excited about that. In all reality,
you heard it. He already told us he's sending us shit. I'm sending you this fucking video clip. You better.
I want to know.
Whoops. Oopsies. We'll find out how much we regret that in the future. But
do you send to Greece?
huh?
Do you ship to Greece?
Oh, send degrees. Yeah. I thought you were asking if I send degrees. I'm like, no, I'm not. No,
Oh.
I don't send degrees.
Just send Yellow some Red Bulls. He
Yeah.
doesn't need
Okay.
that.
You know what? I'll send Yellow some pre-workout that's supposed to also increase your testosterone. We'll see what happens with that.
Nah.
No, puppets don't need testosterone.
What could go wrong?
Have you seen Yellow's OnlyFans? That's what happens when you give a puppet testosterone.
Yeah. I don't need testosterone.
We know. So, Mike, you recently wrote an article where you made a point that really hadn't sunk home with me until I read about it. You were talking about the 10-year Treasury market and Treasury market, long-term debt in general, and how the rate at the 10-year bumped up over 4% and then dropped down somewhere in the threes. I forget where exactly it landed. But
3.69.
right, and nice. And most people don't, like myself included, look at that and go, okay, it's a little move. It's nothing to sneeze at. But you made some interesting points about how big of a move that actually was.
Yes, I did. Did you want me to elaborate on that? Is that what?
Is there a question there, Greg?
It's not so much a question, so much as I was pontificating on the facts.
I mean, because bringing it up, people, it can be both out of like willful ignorance, which would basically just mean stupidity, or just like people just not really caring, which I would also argue would be willful ignorance and stupidity. But like everybody likes to look at the stock market as far as trying to gauge like the health of an economy. And like, we all know that the stock market is not a representation of the economy anyway. It's really just a representation of how much money is going into investment assets. But the stock market is completely beholden on the bond market. So if you're trying to derive any signal from anything, it's like you should be what? Oh, Yellow, you're gonna do that on purpose?
Yeah, he does this shit. All right, so why is it that like a half a point move in Apple, I look at it, I go, okay, that's a normal day of trading. Why is it so much different that a half a point moves in a day on the bond market?
Well, first, let's look up what the market cap of Apple is real quick. 1 second.
Coinbits.
Okay, so
Yay.
Coinbits. So Apple's market cap is $2.34 trillion. I don't know how many shares they have issued, which is gonna.
I imagine it's like 2.34 trillion worth of shares.
Yeah. Great deduction there, Greg. Nice gold star.
Thank you.
But obviously,
I'm a genius.
Basically, obviously the number of shares that they have issued is going to dilute the value of each share, which would be, to Greg's point, as far as like the 2.34 trillion market cap. But it like considering how many shares there would be issued is going to change like how much like effort it takes to move the price of the whole stock valuation. Like, right, that's how the stock market works. Like the swings in prices, like how many buyers and sellers there are on each side. When you have something like the 10-year treasury, which for those that are listening that don't understand, when people talk about notes, bonds, and treasuries, they're all treasuries. A note just like the names between notes, bonds, and notes, treasuries, and bonds, because bonds is the long dated like maturity rate. Though like those different names just like compartmentalize the different time periods to the maturity point. Like that's really the only thing that differs between them, from my understanding. I could be wrong, but when you have the 10-year treasury, it's around, I think, $50 trillion in depth. So if you're gonna move something like a half a percentage point over a matter of even like an hour, like the 10-year treasury did, or like a couple hours, that's a lot of money, like all at once. And the only people that have that kind of money are significant pension funds, and like you're getting into like the sovereign debt stuff. And then that's why like, because like we've all been listening to Greg Foss and James Lavish and Larry Lepard and Jeff Ross. We've been listening to them all as like screech read, just like with the rest of us as far as the Bitcoin community goes. But when the Bank of England thing popped off, which is what this whole article was based upon, because I was like just reiterating what I was learning and understanding to try and put it in a way so everybody else can try and learn and understand. When the Bank of England thing popped off, like that was the first time that I noticed that just about every macroeconomic, geopolitical, like hedge fund manager, expert, like everybody cared. Everybody noticed. They're like, this is fucked. Yellow. Keep raising your hand. Yellow. I haven't been paying attention to you whatsoever, dude. What you got?
Wow, he doesn't even miss you, Yellow.
I'm gonna wait for you to conclude.
Trying to get me to wrap up? I'm wrapped up, dude.
Oh, are you done?
Yeah, what you got?
So, other than Bitcoin, do you have any other rabbit hole you would like to go down?
As far as Bitcoin goes, you guys want to talk about aliens? We can talk about
Other
aliens.
than Bitcoin, man.
Oh
like,
yeah, you just hit it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about aliens.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about all these
Can
UAPs
someone
over
clip Pedro
Kyiv.
saying you just hit it?
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
Damn, I did. Everybody started talking all at once.
Pedro, what's the question, man? You sent
No, I don't. Let's. He's already been prompted. Tell us about aliens.
Dude, you're chomping at the bit, Pedro. Give us something.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, Pedro.
Yeah,
Give us that sweet voice.
yeah.
What is the most recent thing you've read about aliens?
Ooh.
Read. I don't know if I've read really anything as far as
Seen?
aliens goes.
Seen?
Seen? Dude, I actually wish I wish I had a UFO experience. That'd be so cool.
You didn't
Just
have a
like-
UFO
just like-
experience in the Air Force?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But
You always
that's largely because
identified?
that's largely because I wasn't really to do with anything as far as nuclear goes. Because if you guys want to actually go down the aliens rabbit hole, like most of that activity as far as military activity goes is like it's usually around the ICBM silos,
Really?
which they are out
What?
in North
Wait,
Dakota.
what'd you say? The what? Silos?
Intercontinental
ICBM.
ballistic missile.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
That's the mutually assured destruction part of mutually assured destruction. Those are the bad boys we send up.
Yeah.
big
So
kaboom,
funny
kaboom.
thing about that, as far as like the alien topic goes, we can just keep going down this rabbit hole.
You watch
From
Roswell?
what?
You watch Roswell?
I don't even know what that is. I'm being completely honest.
It's a place in Nevada.
Sean, I'm deducting 2 points from your score.
You can't do that. Only Labra can do that.
I have to do it because Labra's not here. Somebody's got to do it.
What's the score at? Who's leading?
Ooh.
Well, I guess I already took that mantle on.
That's me. I'm winning.
You're winning. Yeah, Yellow is winning with
What?
With
a-
watermelons.
A decrepit popcat holding a watermelon. Sean, you've got this. You've done this, but minus 2 points, whatever that's worth. Mike, you've been doing great. You have a controller from a Nintendo Switch that doesn't have the Switch parts on it. Becca, you've won a pencil. Not just any pencil, but a giant basketball playing pencil. And Pedro, you, my
Winning.
friend, have won
Getting racist.
some air duster.
Oh.
Nice.
I can clean my keyboard now.
Nice. Did I get everybody? I think
Pedro,
I got
can we-
everybody. All right, so
Like how
What?
Sean just says it's racist before he understood what it was.
no, he's right. He's right. Everything is racist.
Everything's racist.
Yeah, okay, all right. It doesn't really have any value if it isn't, right?
Yeah, haven't you read an article lately?
The English language is racist.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Big time. Let's go down that rabbit
Big
hole.
time.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
It's not sexist like German or Spanish, but it's definitely racist.
Yeah.
So wait, why are aliens hanging out around the nuclear silos?
Well, there's a whole theory that they make it. Yes. Yeah, whatever he said, yes.
Yeah, you're amateurs. They have like the remote controls as you have for the garage. You open your garage and you close the garage. They have that for like for the missiles. If you're gonna launch it, they just put by like beep and they close it.
I mean, he's not wrong actually, because there were documented cases of like the military units that are operating and like maintaining the ICBM silos, because they're all running off of 40s technology, because they're basically all air gapped, because they don't want the capability of like, if you gain access to one, then you gain access to all the others. There's documented cases of those silos all getting shut down all at once when like lights and UFOs are reported near them.
And you learned about this when you were in the Navy?
No, I've actually I've always been about it. It's because as a kid, like I had a wild imagination, and my dad and I always watched like History Channel and Discovery Channel and Animal Planet. Like I spent my whole child life just for fun learning. And I like my dad and I loved watching movies like Aliens, like the scary ones. And the more he and I would like watch all this stuff and learn, and especially learning about like the size of the solar system and then like the perceived size of the universe, he and I would just like look at each other like, there's no fucking way. Like there's no way all of this space is here and we are the only living things out there. Absolutely not. And so like ever since then, I just leaned into it more, because people people always react. They're like, oh no, it's bullshit. I'm like, is that really all the thought you're going to give towards it? Like,
yeah,
really?
I thought the same thing about humans, and then I got out from the factory I was made, and like there's a few more right now.
The puppet factory?
Yeah.
In China, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're working in a Nike shoe factory. Got it.
Well, he didn't work there. He was produced there.
I was recycled there, actually.
Oh.
Sewn together by 5-year-olds.
Was it jail?
In the re-education camps.
Jesus.
He was made by a blind convict.
Oh shit.
I don't like to talk about it.
He had some weed in his vape pen.
All right, so there's a lot of macro forces happening right now that are changing things, like where puppets like Yellow are made.
And this is the full autism that I was talking to you about earlier, Greg. Like we go straight from fucking around 100 degrees, and then we go 100 degrees in the opposite direction.
Mike, Greg was in the middle of a great segue right now.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I love interrupting people, in case you guys haven't noticed.
I figure you fit right in. But so those macro forces that are making big changes, like, and we'll see you later, Mike. Jesus.
Okay, bye.
I went to go turn some lights on, but it's the wrong switch, so oh well.
You can get up again. We'll wait.
There's that autism. So big macro forces changing a lot of things. Changed a lot of the way a lot of people act and interact in the business cycle. Do you think there's anything happening in the macro environment right now that's going to affect the way that the Bitcoin halving cycle works?
No, because you can't change the way the halving cycle works.
And you don't think there's anything happening politically, economically around the world that would impact that cycle? Not the fact that it actually cuts issuance, but what the human reaction is to that cycle.
Oh, so the perception of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're getting at. Because I was going to say, technically, you could screw with the halving cycle as far as like screwing with the miners. Because if you kept in like,
well, not like Calvin Air, but like, you know.
Yeah. Because what I'm saying is like, imagine if you had a series of consistent, like almost like comparable China bands to where you kept making the miners move and the hash rate kept getting screwed with, and then you just consistently like slow down like the blockchain. You could do that, but that's basically just a derivative version of a double spend attack, because like that takes a lot of like coordination and everything to be able to do something like that. Perception around the halving, I don't know what could be done to really affect that, because really what really matters most is whether people think that like Bitcoin's price is going to go up around there. Because I'm one of the people that buys into, like, I don't think there's any sort of rule that requires the Bitcoin bull run to actually start 6 months prior to like the halving or whatever that standard is. People like to talk about it, but I don't like. I could very much see the situation that we're in right now, macroeconomically and geopolitically. I could see it causing basically a nothing burger around the Bitcoin halving and price staying relatively boring or muted. I could see that, because we're going through like the first actual recession that Bitcoin's ever seen.
Is that your base case, or is that just something that you could see happening?
No, that's something I could see happening, because I think it would be pretty foolish to say it was the base case. Like when you look at things like a lot of the bullish actual macroeconomic developments as far as Bitcoin acceptance goes, like they've been big the last couple months.
Yeah.
Huge. Like BlackRock saying that they're getting into it, that's a big one. Talks like having conversations around CBDCs, that's going to be a big one. The US dollar producing this power vacuum, that's going to be a big one. Russia allowing international trade in all the industries for Bitcoin, that's a massive one, because then it kicks off the arms race shit that I wrote about back in February. Like they're all huge ripples, but we're in a situation where everybody's scared to risk their capital, so Bitcoin's not feeling it yet.
Okay, and
speechless.
What are the biggest?
We're soaking it in.
What are the biggest geopolitical forces you see happening right now that are going to have a impact on Bitcoin specifically?
Energy is the biggest one, because the entire world is getting a painful lesson in energy and how important it is. And especially around reliable energy, like to Alex Epstein's point. If you guys haven't read Fossil Future, I would recommend it.
We've been trying to get him on the show for a while, so if you know him,
I will plug you guys. Absolutely. I haven't met him yet, but I would love to. Because he's one of those. He's also one of those guys that is bullish Bitcoin. He just doesn't talk about it much. Like he likes Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But he's just not out there screeching like a regarded individual like the rest of us. But energy is the big one, because
what do you think? What do you think of? Okay, you can keep going on this, but what do you think? Did you see that Louisiana? I don't know what it was, the Treasury, whatever of Louisiana.
You can keep going on this, but I'm going to talk over you.
Yeah, I'm going to talk over you as you keep going on it. They divested from BlackRock specifically because of BlackRock's ESG stance.
Yes. Yep. And the funny thing is that like BlackRock's admittance that they've lost, I think, because they were down like 20 to 30% on their ESG fund, like a couple months ago, maybe even just a couple weeks ago. Like all resemblance of time in Bitcoin has completely been obliterated. Like I keep mixing up events that happened 2 weeks ago with like 6 months ago.
How many blocks?
How many blocks? I don't know. Like flip a couple coins to get the 6-digit number, and like I have no idea. But because like, and this goes back to the energy thing that like you claim to have interrupted me, but you actually brought me right back to it. Because
you guys.
See, he's like, see, because like the ESG stuff just is born out of people's misunderstandings or misconceptions of energy. Yeah, whatever he said. And because like, and the 20 minutes. The reason that I say that I'm comfortable saying that is because I was one of those people that bought into like that ESG nonsense. Like going through college, I remember taking classes where they're like, oh yeah, oil and gas is bad, so is nuclear. Like we need to push all this solar and wind. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make sense, but okay, like I'll keep going. And then I never really looked back. And I never looked into it. I even had a class from a guy. One of the professor was a former Enron employee. Like he did all the testing, like as far as like the testing for spills and all that stuff. And I can't remember the name. It was in Canada. It was on the West Coast. It was a something sound. There was a big spill as far as oil goes. And people were like, oh, it's destroying the environment and everything. And what they ended up doing was called bioremediation, where they bring in this particular species or type of bacteria that eats the petroleum. And then that bacteria attracts, they would also dump like this type of worm that would eat the bacteria. And then these two dynamics, like the worms just proliferate, and then it brings in birds and it brings in fish and all this other stuff. And within 2 to 5 years, it was like nobody could tell that there was an oil spill there. So like when you start looking at that, and then like that is like one of the biggest ones that ESG bases like all their nonsense off, as far as like oil spills being bad for the environment and all this other stuff. And it is bad for the environment.
Oil spills are good for the environment.
You heard it here.
I mean, the professor did try saying that, but I was like, all right, dude, like let's keep it muted a little bit.
More oil spills.
So what kind
Pedro, you gonna add to that, or you just put
make oil spills great again? That's
Let's get it on the merch.
There's a T-shirt. All right.
They don't do them the same way nowadays. It's not like it was.
Greg, are you trying to take it like a particular way?
I lost it. It's gone now. I
Greg
don't
was
know.
trying to big brain real quick.
Make oil spills great again. Kind of got me. Oh, okay, I remember. What kind
Marcus
of
is in the building?
Hey, Marcus. All right.
Marcus.
And Marcus was one of the dudes that was in the Cafe Bitcoin chat with Sean, and I can't remember the other guys that were there. Chairforce was there, I think. You guys were all dropping some alpha, and I was just like, let's go, Meat Factory.
No, it was MicroChat. MicroChat was the one who really was dropping it.
Okay.
Yeah, not
you guys are all
Sean.
team though.
Marcus isn't.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, Moon?
What's up, Marcus?
Good to meet you, man. Sorry I'm late, guys.
It's all right. It's been a whole evening like this. All right, so energy is going to teach the world painful lessons. What kind of fractures do you see happening with society because of those painful lessons?
Fractions?
Yeah, fractions.
Yeah, fractions, like 2/3 yellow.
Exactly.
Like fractions.
Oh,
Like numbers over numbers.
Keep up.
Like
fracking.
fracking
Pizza
oil.
lady.
But and Greg, before I answer your question, I was also going to tell you that my friends have a verb for me called Hobarting. Like they will actually they'll start telling a story and I'll walk away because I just start thinking of something else that I would rather think about, and I go do something else in the house.
I didn't know.
So when I do actually, like stand up,
you did
like
that
it's
to
just.
us.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because
You Hobarted us, jerk.
Yeah, it's a thing. But as far as fractions go, like I thought that I was being aggressive earlier in the year when I was saying that I think the EU is going to dissolve by 2030. Dude, I think it's going to be by like 2025 now. And I was actually having a conversation. You guys probably know this by now. I get up at like 4 a.m. in the morning.
Why?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
Why? Yeah.
Because I get my work done before everybody else wakes up and starts distracting me.
Oh, you ain't tight.
But it allowed me this morning.
How would you know, Sean?
I kind of went into the hotel lobby to just like check out what Twitter was showing, because at 4 a.m. is also when like the really serious developments tend to come out as far as the news goes. Like between the super serious shit that is tied to the U.S., but then you're also getting like the news from that happened in the Asian markets while everybody was sleeping. But this morning it allowed me to get into a Spaces conversation to talk with Emma Mueller. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Bueller.
But Bueller. But I had a conversation with her this morning talking about all this stuff with like energy and everything. Like she's a very intelligent individual. And we were talking about this specifically, like the EU dissolving. And she was like, oh no, they're fucked. And she's an actual, like, I would say bona fide expert. She's like, it's probably going to be before 2025. And I was like, holy shit. I thought I was negative, but god damn. And then the other thing too, because I think you're also kind of alluding to one of my other articles on my Medium. And if you're not, you guys can go check it out. You'll probably like it. It's called Geopolitical Phase Transition. And I can foresee a future where, because we're already seeing a lot of the states in the United States starting to take back states' power versus the federal government, particularly DeSantis and Florida. And I think that that's going to be a trend that's going to continue, especially as long, like the more that the U.S. continues to drain the SPR, which is, I would argue, treasonous,
Strategic,
like especially
Petroleum Reserve.
Yep, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which is down at levels that we haven't seen since, funny enough, 1984. And I could see a reality where, because not only because, but largely motivated by political affiliation, I could see a kind of division as far as like what I refer to as a trade federation, because a lot of the Republican leaning states tend to be centered in the central portion of the United States, the Midwest, basically from the Canadian border down to the Gulf of Mexico, and from kind of the west of the Appalachians to the eastern portion of the Rocky Mountains, like that. The whole like Great Plains Basin basket is
River
where
Valley system.
Yes, also known as Tornado Alley. That's where the food and the oil and some natural gas, but a lot of natural gas gets produced on the East Coast too. But oil and food gets produced there primarily. And those are the two things that we're going to need a lot of, because the U.S. is a major food exporter of the world. And because of those dynamics, and they're all, funny enough too, now that Austin, Texas is becoming basically a tech hub, seems like it's drawing a lot of the power from Silicon Valley, which is also why Austin's starting to vote a little more democratically. So they better get a hold on that. But there's also the chip foundries are going into Texas too.
And New York. So Micron just announced a $600 billion
did they really?
foundry. Yeah, upstate New York somewhere.
Okay. Interesting, because they're all about energy moralization.
Are you a Republican maxi? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. So that actually brings up another point too that I also like to rant about with the Bitcoin community is, and you guys have probably seen me kind of go at Dennis Porter a little bit. Single issue voters are stupid.
I have him muted.
Single issue voters are.
Are you a U.S. maxi?
I'm a U.S. maxi. Yeah, I'm a patriot. Like I served in the Army. I would be kind of self-hating if I wasn't. But
what were you saying about single issue voters?
Single issue voters are stupid, because voting a political leader into office off of one issue for somebody that's going to be making decisions for an entire community, whether it's a city or a county or a state or a country, is stupid, because there are so many different variables that go into determining whether somebody is actually apt and deserves to be the leader of that level. It's like even if you're like a school superintendent.
Okay, well, what's the argument for single issue voters?
What's the argument against single issue voters?
For single issue voters is so people can get specifically Bitcoin supporting anybody in office, and that is stupid.
But why would a single issue voter say I'm a single issue voter because of Bitcoin? Like what's the reasoning behind that?
I don't know. Go out and ask Twitter, because like
lack of critical thinking skills.
Yeah, you got to be able to. I don't know. I'd say you got to be able to You got to be able to know the opponent's argument if you're going to be able to criticize their argument.
Well, like a lot of it in the Bitcoin community is just so they can get pro-Bitcoin legislation pushed through.
The steel man here would be like, okay, you get somebody voted into office, whether or not you agree with like the rest of their politics, but because Bitcoin is such a powerful force, like it just ruins all of politics and it brings down the government. It's BS, but like that could be a steel man argument.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't listen to anything you said because your voice just has me fully torqued right now.
I would say I'm not for or against single issue voting. I haven't even thought about it before, but I would venture to say a single issue voter for Bitcoin is because they believe that Bitcoin will fix the other things that people are actually voting on, right? Like the things that people are trying to vote for or against, they think that Bitcoin is the thing that will fix those things.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but
say it again.
Which is
my
what,
voice is sexy, so you heard it.
Yeah, which was what Pedro was saying though, because I actually wasn't listening. Because like he was getting to the point of like that's their argument, that's what they believe, but they're wrong because it's stupid. Because you can change the money, but you still have the people still have to change. Because if bad people get economic power, they're going to do bad things. So like just because the money is less capable of being manipulated, because Bitcoin can still be manipulated. Look at the derivatives market. Like they could if they wanted to, if they actually wanted to like defeat Bitcoin, they would just print a bunch of money without telling anybody, put it on the derivatives market, just short it to living hell, and then it would be done. But they really can't, right? Or they could, but like nobody's willing to do that, because then if it gets out, then it's really, really bad.
You would have you couldn't do that because you would have the biggest short squeeze known to man, like in play.
The short squeeze would only happen though is if somebody with enough economic like
every
power got wind of it, right?
Yeah, but every person out there would go long. Every billionaire would know what's going on, and they would go like George Soros breaking the Bank of England, right? Like they would.
And that's a good point too.
I actually made that question to Greg Foss on BTC sessions, and he said it can be done.
It can't be done.
I think we just got a Hobart pivot.
Well, if Greg Foss says it, then I'm just retarded. Because if I'm being
Greg Foss said it can, right? He said it can.
It can be done.
Oh, it can be done.
Yeah,
okay, then I'm just
you can't
like
understand him.
Well, that just goes to show that I'm willing to accept that I'm stupid. But
it's not that far.
But yeah, it could happen. And like the people that think that just because like, and this goes back to why I think that single issue voters are stupid, because like just because somebody says that they like look at the New York City mayor.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, everybody piled in under that idiot. They're like, oh, this dude's like pro Bitcoin. I'm like, did we not learn anything from Elon? Like really? We didn't learn anything. Like, okay, like cool. Pretty embarrassed to be a part of this community right now. Obviously, I'm not as embarrassed now, but I was just like, come on, guys. Like,
I don't know anything about this.
Let's pay attention a little bit.
My question: What part of your personality made you enlist in the army?
Space Force.
If that has anything to do with you understanding Bitcoin easier,
Pomp.
And do you feel manipulated at some point?
Funny thing is that I didn't come around to Bitcoin or Pomp or Marty Bent or any of them until I was already in the army, because I didn't come around to them until I was like mobilizing for deployment.
Would you include Marty Bent and Pomp in the same category?
Yeah, because they both went live with their podcast at the same time.
Ooh.
Roughly the same time in 2017, or maybe it was 2018. It might have been early 2018. I can't remember. but yeah, like those were the first two that I started to listen. I actually listen to podcasts and start to understand Bitcoin. Now, obviously, Pomp went a different way. Rip to him. But one of the to get back to Yella's question, like what pushed me to enlist in the Army was because I was scraping bottom of the barrel.
That's where the best flavor is.
Yeah, I like because it's like some of the shitty beers are bottom of the barrel stuff too, right? But I was like figuratively, metaphorically, and literally, I was scraping the bottom of the barrel like that is life because I was at university for degrees that I didn't fully understand.
Gender studies?
Gender
studies?
He said ginger
studies. Those were like, luckily those things weren't real. Like that wasn't real while I was going through college. Like,
it's real now?
I'm sure there's a gender study degree out there, dude. Google it. I bet there's a couple.
I mean, it's real, but I'm just saying. Is it really real?
What?
What's that, Yellow? Sean was talking over you.
It was a kind of an escape for you.
What are you saying, Sean?
It was it was a reset. It was a reset that I needed because I was blacking out 3 to 4 nights a week.
Racist.
Yeah.
Why not whiting out? You see white lights.
Huh? Whiteouts?
Yeah. Why not?
I don't know what a whiteout would be.
It's when you
It's
see
a snowstorm.
Yeah. Also,
because when you get super drunk from drinking copious amounts of alcohol, there isn't really a white light; it just goes black. But I needed a reset because I identified pretty quickly. Well, maybe not quickly because I was drinking like that for like 6 years straight. But I realized that if I didn't change something seriously and significantly, that I was going to go down a very bad path very quickly. So I was working at a gym at the time, and I was pretty tight with a dude that was a regular, and he was a recruiter. And I was like, dude, so I'm going to come visit your office next week. And I really actually took a really stupid route because I was capable. I could have been either military intelligence or I could have been a drone operator, which obviously both would have been seriously like Gucci paychecks, like on the contracting side afterwards. But I went aircraft hydraulic specialist, which was still cool because the unit that I got put in, like we were working with special forces and special operations and everything. So that was like still badass. Cause I was like, I also got put on the DART team, which is down aircraft recovery. And the way I describe it is, in Black Hawk Down, the guys that showed up to try and like either like to try and figure out if like they're the guy, like we were the guys where you try and like figure out if you can fly an aircraft out, and if you can't, we blew it up. So that was a lot of fun.
So you went in hoping
the training
you
was
fix it.
Yeah.
Please be broken. Please be broken.
Yeah.
Which I mean, most of the time, because like what a lot of people don't understand, which is for good reason, because like you kind of have to like interact with the aircraft to understand this. But aircraft are extremely fragile. Like there's no armor plating on an Apache. It's like an 1/8 or 1/12 of an inch thick like sheet metal. Like that's it.
Like Nick
so,
Carter.
that was a good one.
Nice.
Clip that.
Knock it
but
out.
But they're extremely fragile. So if they crash, like most of the time you're not gonna be able to fly them out.
But the stars, right?
So and the really fun stuff was actually the training for being prepared for like going behind enemy lines and like dealing with becoming a POW and stuff. And we're on a recorded thing, so I won't talk about a lot of the stuff that like they actually trained me on, but people could argue that it's questionable. And there's also like some pretty interesting stuff. That's one of them. But there's also like the stuff around like people don't understand like the actual technical capabilities that are out there. If anybody says that you're not capable of accessing something, any sort of technology, they are absolutely lying. Like
alien technology.
Yeah, let's go back to that rabbit hole. But like as far as technology goes, like literally, like anything, like it doesn't matter if it's on your Apple phone or your MacBook or your fax machine or whatever the hell you want to talk about. Like Tesla, like there is absolute capability to gain every single like byte of data that is off those pieces of technology.
What about your
and what about your Bitcoin?
That,
except for your Bitcoin safe.
Are you telling me that John McPhee living in a Faraday cage was right?
Yeah. I mean that's the crazy part. That was actually the fun part about watching the whole John McAfee thing was that he was right.
Or Snowden.
And Snowden. And why do you guys think that Russia offered him like citizenship? He's not just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. And Snowden's one of those guys that's like, I would argue, probably autistic. And you think that like he's just sitting there, like just watching from Twitter and Facebook, like as the rest of the world falls apart around him? No. And you think that Putin is going to let somebody of that like worth sit in his country, and Putin's not going to throw any sort of incentive towards him to try and get anything out of him? He's not going to torture him. The dude comes from NSA. Like you don't torture that type of person.
My guess is he's providing something like a service, or he's feeding them slowly, like info, as the time passes.
Yeah, it's probably both. And like, and the thing is too is that like, I really and this pissed off a lot of my I don't want to say comrades because it sounds communist, but a lot of the guys that were in like the service with me. A lot of them called him a traitor, and I didn't agree with that whatsoever because he pointed like it's like pointing out that your parents are abusing you. Does that mean you're betraying your parents? No. So like the fact that he pointed out that everybody else was getting abused, and then our country tried to label him a traitor, I'm like that doesn't sit right with me.
No.
And now that he's overseas, huh?
There's freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about that. But
can you mute Sean, please?
Mute.
All right.
There's no winning for you tonight, dude.
Now, in reality,
Marcus wishes he could do that on Bitcoiner's Guide.
We've gotten towards the end of our hour here, and I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to make sure that we get the last couple of questions out here.
Coinbits.
Also, Coinbits. Sean, you want to handle both of these, or you want to roll with the halving party first?
Well, I can do both. We can do.
Hit them.
Okay. My notes first. See if I got it from RD. Okay, here we go. Mike, if the meme factory existed, which we know it doesn't, who would you like? Who would you retweet? And who would you mute?
Oh, so this is like kill, fuck, marry. Okay. Yeah. Who would I like? Who would I retweet? Who would I mute? I would retweet Becca because I like watching her get shut down by Sailor.
Yes, me too.
I would.
Is that a kill, a fuck, or a
kill? Kill it.
I don't know because I wouldn't say that. It would probably be a marry because I want to keep seeing it because it's like it's entertaining.
Right.
I would. Ooh, the next two are difficult. I would like. I'm not gonna lie. I would have to like. Oh, fuck, dude, that's a really good question.
It's not that good. No,
it is actually. It is because like it wouldn't have been. In all honesty, it wouldn't have been that good of a question if I wasn't part of the conversation with like the multiple of you guys with the Swan Bitcoin to like understand like how much you guys actually know versus just seeing all the memes.
He thought we were idiots before is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, that's basically that's like a polite way of like saying that.
Oh, good.
I would
That's our secret sauce. Everyone thinks we're dumb.
It is actually. It really is, because like pulling in the general public to underestimate you is a very strategic move. Sun Tzu, yeah, Art of War. I would have to say, Sean, you're gonna be the one that gets the like, dude, because like you say a lot of the geopolitical shit that I agree with, and the macroeconomic stuff, and then Marcus, you're getting muted because I already don't see your shit.
Damn it! All right.
What did you get for telling me to get muted? Okay.
But yeah.
So last question, at least for me, and this is more of like a invitation than a question.
Okay.
Block height 840,000. It's coming around the corner. That will be the next halving. Bitcoin's next halving. Sparking the new cycle. Watching the bull run happen again. We're throwing a party. The Meme Factory is throwing a party down in El Salvador. That's the savior in Spanish. That's Bitcoin country.
The Salvador.
El Salvador. And we're inviting you, man. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be Bitcoin only. Come on down. We should talk offline about you and the Meat Initiative, Texas Slim, because I want to get some good steaks down there. So
you want to get some meat? Is that what you're saying?
Trying to get some heifers.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay.
Snipe.
So like before I officially commit to the party, do I have a place to crash there?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
You just go online and you book the hotel.
Very simple.
That's the neat part.
I'll go. I was actually planning
That's
on
the
going
neat part. You don't.
But I once you guys start talking about it, the more you guys have talked about it, the more I want to go, because I do want to get down to El Salvador. And that'll be 2024. So yeah.
It'll be the beginning. March probably.
March?
April.
So spring
It'll
break.
be on 420.
Oh, perfect.
Hopefully.
All right.
For
Same
manifesting
day,
Is
it.
that a
100K.
thing? Is that a thing down in El Salvador? Like, is it legal, not legal? Like, because they got the cartel stuff down there.
Don't
too,
get Brittany
right?
Griner, dude. That's what I'd say. That's my advice. Do not get Brittany Griner.
Yeah. Because, that's just a good rule of travel in general. Like,
Yeah.
don't try and bring weed. Like,
You don't know the rules of the
Or
country.
any
you're going to.
substances.
Don't push your luck.
Yeah.
That's all.
Dropping the alpha over here. Wow.
All right, and Mike, while you've got some of the Meme Factory here, do you have any questions for us?
I did not come into this with questions, no. Because
Excellent.
and that's super. I get it. It's super boring, but getting the actual peak of like how much you guys actually do think as far as like the macroeconomic and geopolitical shit, like that was a very welcome surprise. So I don't have really. Okay, so I do have one question, Becca. Is that TMZ shit? Is that like for real? Like, are you actually trying at that shit?
Oh yeah, I'm building. I'm taking step 3 extremely seriously, and I am building BT Weekly. It's a thing.
Okay. All right.
Why not?
And that wasn't meant to be insulting. I just hate
It
tabloids.
just
So I was
came
like,
out
okay.
that way.
Yeah, well, it's how this is how I'm spreading the orange pill message.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's because and that gets back to like talking about just like whether you're talking about single issue voters or anything, or like people complain about like, well, stop talking to politicians. You just talk to you need to talk to more plebs and normies. It's like, no, you need to do all of it.
Yeah.
So
It's a different demographic.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Not everybody likes macro.
Some people like gossip.
Yeah, that is very I would say most people like gossip, and most people don't like macro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build bridges in between the two worlds. And build
You're
it.
trying to build bridges. Yeah. I was thinking between like macro and gossip, and I'm like, no, that's not it. That's from like fiat gossip to Bitcoin gossip.
I don't know. We'll see if Christine Lagarde can make it on the cover of BT Weekly. We'll see. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Mike. Tell our audience where they can find you.
Find me at Twitter is at THEE Mike Hobart. Again, it sound like I see this every time. It sounds very ostentatious, very egotistical, but there was already like 100 Mike Hobarts taken, believe it or not. So like that's how I made it easy for people to find me. And Mike then Hobart on me, TM.
Mike Hobart for thee, but not for me.
All right. So
and
anybody?
Then, medium would be Mike Hobart, just Mike Hobart, like nice and easy.
All right, and I've got Mike's Twitter handle and links in the show notes. Mike, I want to say thank you for sharing your time with us tonight, and hope you have a good one.
Hell yeah, guys! It was a lot of fun.
Mike.
Like next time you guys want to do it again, just let me know.
Thank you, Mike. Coinbits.